Hi, I'm Mark Crory, and welcome to this edition of Uncommon Interviews. I'm filling in for Barbara McRae. She usually does this thing and does a much better job, I must say. But today we're fortunate to have George Sanders with us. George is a resident in town, 21 years, and you'll notice something very unique about George as we cut to the two-shot here. George is a walking billboard these days. And we're here to talk about the senior center, some plans that are in the works for a new senior center. And George, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And to talking about this. We can read from your shirt, Littleton needs senior center. Vote May 6, 2019. What is this all about?
Well, this is just my way of spreading the news and letting the citizen know that the time has come. Littleton seniors need a place that they can call their own. Mm-hmm. And we've been looking and looking and looking. When I came here 21 years ago, they had been looking about 25 years prior to.
Wow.
And I was working with the Friends and with the COA, and I became the chairman on the COA board. And we continued to work and strive to try to get something. When I came here, we had one room in the town hall building. And we were sharing the conservation. And if we didn't leave the chairs right over there, the conservation sort of kind of got a little upset in that room. So eventually they did a renovation in the town hall here, and they gave that room that's down there at the other end to the COA. Mm-hmm. So now we had two rooms that we could sort of kind of say we had. Right. And basically, you know, everybody compete for the great room. And from that point, you know, unless you had something outside in the patio area, that was about the extent of whatever the seniors had. And you just, you know, wondering why all the surrounding towns, they either got a senior center or they got a building or they went on and built a new building. Right. They call it senior center. So all this time around Littleton, everybody got senior center. We have people here that leaves from Littleton, drives to Westford or Groton, or go to Acton, over to Air.
Sure.
For socializing and fellowshipping, because we don't have very much here because there's so many activities goes on in the great room that you really have to compete for the time and the space down there. Mm-hmm. So, you know, Barbara, bless her heart, she's been working on this ever since she probably been in Littleton. Mm-hmm. And I just joined forces with her and say, you know, yes, and they've been saving a little bit of money and raising money and through the thrift shop there, trying to one day maybe we'll get a senior center and we can do this, that, this, and this. Mm-hmm. One of the things that maybe a lot of time seniors don't realize, and that is the Friends. When you call the Friends of the Council on Aging, it is the friends of the seniors. Make no question about that. Mm-hmm. Because they are the one that are providing the activities for the most part.
Right.
The
lot of
town do
funding.
not. The town does not give them money per se for activity for the senior. So they're the ones that's really putting on these various activities here.
And I've been
appreciate
to a
it.
lot of the events. You know, our studio is right above the multi-purpose room, so you know, each week we hear the noise of the music or smell of the food coming up the stairs from whatever lunch they're having, and they're always well attended. You know, they get over 100 people or so for each time they have a function down there.
Easy.
Yeah. And let's face the facts. Baby boomers and that generation where we had the influx of population growth, they're all getting now to the age where 65 or older, and they need a place to go. And this is not your father's senior center like we used to, people used to go and, play dominoes or something.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with dominoes.
Right.
But I mean, I go down there, they're doing exercise classes, they're doing stretch and flex, they're doing craft classes, they're doing the fellowship, which is all important. They have support groups, caregiver support groups, grief and widow support groups. They help people with decluttering. They help people with finances, with their taxes. They have the program where you can work as a senior tax program. Some great things going on. They have trips. They have movies. They have you name it. I mean, it's not just dominoes anymore. It's a whole program that needs the space, and you can't do it in the space that they have.
No, and the thing here is that remember one thing. The seniors in the inner city of town, they are normally the cornerstone foundation of that community. Mm-hmm. And for the seniors, they continue to pay the taxes like everybody else. There are states, once you reach to the senior category and you own a property, you don't pay taxes no more. But we're not that fortunate here. We're very appreciative of the relief that they give through the tax program, which I pretty much got that worked up and started and put it in place
for you.
Where it was equal for everybody that wanted to sign up. When I initially came here, it was early bird who got the worm, and that was it. But now we appreciate the selectmen over the years giving money towards that program, as well as putting in place certain programs for widows and for seniors and for veterans, where the state gives disabled veterans an allowance based on a percentage of disability relief on their property tax. They just recently passed that if a veteran is blind, then they gave 100% relief for the property tax for a blind veteran. Mm-hmm. And there was something like only about 14 or 15 blind veterans in the state. So that's why the state went ahead and did that for the blind veterans. And all other blinds in the state, they're also on that category. But the veterans was missing in that category. So what we're looking at now is to ask the town to give us $3 million so we can buy the DCU building over there. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are concerned about the thing is whether or not we could put the kitchen on, or where the septic system would be able to take it, or whether, this is a problem, or what about we're going to have to keep this diner running over here and that over there. Well, they have a miniature kitchen in there right now. There's plenty of space. They talk about they need 16,000 square feet. That building is 22,000 square feet. Most of it, and the other thing, I sit on the Disability Commission. It's ADA up to date.
That's great.
So, you don't have to spend the money towards that, because Groton, they building a new senior center because it was going to cost them, just the ADA update was over $200,000.
Right.
So they said, why spend that there? And they're building a 12,000 square feet building there. But for Littleton.
So the urgency is twofold. One, we need it. We need the space
Absolutely,
now.
absolutely.
I guess it's threefold. We've been talking about this for many years, and
40 years.
40 years. So it's time to take action. And third, that space is available, and it may not be available much longer because
That
it's
is
prime
true.
real estate there down in the common area.
That is true.
It's got parking.
About 80 space.
80 spaces, which is decent.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just, it seems like a perfect fit and a perfect time. Now, what would you say to the naysayers out there who say, well, my taxes already are too high and I don't want to take on another expense? And, what would you say to someone like that?
Well, what I would say to the people out there, we're asking for this $3 million to come out of the stabilization fund, which means that the money is already there. As far as the taxes go, they say, well, our taxes are so high, this is really getting outrageous and so forth and so on. Well, first of all, let's be sure about two things. One, your taxes go up every year 2.5%. Mm-hmm. No question about it. You're going to find an increase in those taxes every year. Secondly, I think that the town does a good job in trying to keep the taxes down, whereas that they've shifted a little bit more to the commercial and industrial. But remember one thing, mm-hmm. You cannot have the cake and eat it too. Mm-hmm. A lot of people want Littleton to stay this rural, airy look that goes back 80 years ago, mm-hmm. And they want to not have an impact on the schools, mm-hmm. on the resources that we have. But yet instead, every city in town needs a little bit of support. Just think about this. Everything this town functions off of used to come out the pockets of the people. You had little or no commercial industry here to help offset the tax costs mm-hmm. to this town. Everything was coming out of your pocket. So now we got certain business, and Littleton is particular about the business that come here.
Sure.
Nothing
They've done a
wrong with
great
that.
job at zoning too,
Yeah.
so that it keeps it to these areas in town, and the rural character is still maintained.
Maintained. And the good thing about Littleton is that Littleton tries to ensure that enough evaluation goes into whatever's going to take place. They just don't overnight just let it go and don't care. They care about what is going where, how it's going to affect my property, how it's going to affect my community, the section that I live in, and so forth and so on. So we're simply saying to Littleton, the tax base will change a little bit, and we will get a little bit of support from the commercial and the industrial side. Now, when you look at the tax rate that we have here, Littleton tax is not as bad as other places are.
Well, so you mentioned the financial team in the town has done a good job of keeping the costs down. And we have a first-class finance team here, and the FinCom and everybody really does a good job of tightening the budgets and making sure that every penny is going where it needs to go. I mean, there's not a lot of excess spending, I know, because
or waste.
Or waste, yeah. But we have a first-class fire station, police station. We have first-class schools. We are ranked for our schools in the state. Our police and fire are amazing. And it's time that we give the forgotten population, our seniors, a place that's first-class too. And we already have the building there, so it's just a matter of renovating it a little bit, getting it up to where it needs to be. But I think you're right. The time is now. The time is now to act on this thing.
Well, the thing that's important about this is that the seniors, they have supported every project that this town has put forth.
Right.
Every project.
Right. Including the schools.
I can remember when the school that they said that the seniors didn't care about the children. And we fought back on that because they did not have enough input into it, and we killed the motion at the town meeting. But when they came back and gave us the proper information, we supported it. Right. So seniors have always been there supporting every project that this town has put forth. Although the police, look how many years that the police kept being pushed to the back burner. But yet instead, we find ourselves today saying that, oh, well, it's been so much talk about the senior center, so much talk about the... We are now at the step of drafting. There's a gentleman that's drafting an article to go to the selectmen, for the selectmen to put on the... Oh, I forgot about this phone.
It's okay.
Man. But,
in fact, they're calling now.
But yeah, matter of fact, they're calling right now. So let's just remember that. So my thing here is that I want the seniors to come out in droves. Mm-hmm. I want the team that let's make alumni feel great again. The seniors need your support. We need you to come out and help vote for us to get this building over here, a DCU. And we would ask any other citizen to help support us in this cause. This is a cause that we're not going to raise your taxes. The money is already there in the stabilization. And that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. They use money to do the alumni field out of stabilization. They have been able, with this finance team here in the town, mm-hmm. to always look with foresight in saving and managing mm-hmm. and doing the things that your accounting and your treasurer should be doing for the people. Sure. They are taking care of the citizen here in Littleton, and we just ask that you come out and support us with this project because it is important that we do for the seniors like we do for everybody else. Yeah. And
can we be real too a little bit here, George? Let's be honest. Let's say that your tax bill does go up a little bit because of this, okay? I don't know the whole financial situation, but let's just assume it does. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to sacrifice some of your creature comforts to give the seniors a place to be? Can you go without a couple of coffees a week? Because that's pretty much what it'll cost when you average it out over the year. You know, are people willing to sacrifice? Is a cup of coffee or two a week worth it to have a senior center? I would say yes. You know, we live in a first world country. You know, our problems are so first world compared to third world countries that are struggling just to eat. Mm-hmm. You know, people are eating dirt. And, you know, our seniors, I think they deserve it, and they deserve a place to be for this reason.
Well, I think for the sacrifice goal, I think if you really look at things, a lot of seniors on fixed income, limited income, retirement, yet and still, those that have their home, they still pay their taxes with that. When you get into the retirement category, mm-hmm. let me tell you, there is limited income that comes to you.
It's fixed.
And you know what? What you used to have, you have to really fall back, and you really do a sacrifice when you end up in that category. So I said to the citizen in Littleton, we're not asking for much. We want a helping hand to come out and vote, because we as seniors are always there to do the things that this town needs and support. We always have, and we always will.
Amen. I say amen to that. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking about this, letting people know that who may not be aware that this is an issue, you know. But it's going to get a lot of coverage from us here at LCTV, as well as hopefully the newspapers will be covering it. Invite you to come out to the public meetings, as George said, to voice your opinion. Doesn't matter if you're a senior or if you're young or you're whatever your age is. Come out and give your support, because the leaders need to hear from you to let them know. Now, just on that note, I believe that you know, this has been going on for a long time, but I don't think the leaders have been cavalier or whatever about it. They really do want to do this. They've all said, yes, it's important to us, we want to build it, but the time was never right for one reason or another in their minds. Now, the time is right. We finally have this situation where the time is right, and I think it's time for the leaders now to step up as well and say, you know, you're right. We've been saying lip service about this and, you know, telling you that we have, you know, you have our backing, but I think now is the time to prove it.
I think you're dead on. I think that the leaders, especially the selectmen, put this on the warrant. The seniors with the friends, they're doing a support drive, typical petition, asking people to support the need for the $3 million that we're asking for, and that they're going to present this to the selectmen. And I think for the most part, I think most of the selectmen, at least I know of at least 3 selectmen there that's really highly concerned about doing this for the seniors. And I would hope that all 5 would step forth, because they're going to need the seniors. Make no mistake about that. When they come up for other issues, projects in this town, and if you don't want to help us, it's why should we continue to help and pay taxes when we can't get nothing in return, like everybody in the town is for certain departments and so forth, for getting things and so forth. And I understand about the police and the fire and so forth, and the school and so forth. Those are crucial and eccentric items that every town needs and needs to be supported and supported well.
Sure.
This is something here, when you reach to be the age that I am and the other seniors are, you know, there'll be a time that you would like to be able to have that relaxation, go for a little quiet time in a reading room to read or whatever it is, just to go and do something. But you really don't have that at this point in time.
Well, you said it, I think, earlier, when you said the fellowship. To me, that's the most important thing. You need the connections. People need people, you know, and it's about relationships. And, you know, somebody of a younger sect may say, well, you know, how many seniors are really going to use this thing? Well, I can tell you that it's already full. And it's not a case of if you build it, they will come. They've already come. Now we need to build a place so that there can be more. But second of all, Lord willing, we'll all get to that age. It's in something you're investing in your future, your own future. You know, with the schools, you seniors supported it. Your kids have already gone through schools, but you're investing
Except mine, I got 3 there.
Okay. Well, most people. But you're investing in the future.
Right.
You know, this is also an opportunity to invest in the future with a senior center. And the time is now, and I support the cause. I appreciate what you're doing. We have 5 minutes left of our time. Is there anything else you want to say?
Littleton also was selected as a town that in America was a town that you really wanted to raise a family in.
Right.
I mean, that says a whole lot about Littleton. The character of this town, the people that we have in this town, that speaks highly about Littleton. And there's been other evaluations where Littleton came up on the scale, for instance, our schools and so forth. We got some top-notch schools here. We got some top-notch professionals here in our school system. And, we have so much to be
and
so
the number
thankful.
one cable TV station.
Well, I'm going to get around to all that.
all right.
That we have so much to be thankful for
we do.
here in the town of Littleton. And with the TV station here, I mean, it's the reaching out. Those that are homebound, they can turn in on the town meeting, those that can't get out and see. So, this TV station gives a lot of input to the citizens out there with different programs. The town meetings give the board meetings, the committee meetings, pretty much most of them, they're televised. If you don't get there, you can almost for sure check and go back on demand and see the...
I do want to mention, too, while you're bringing that up, the COA and the Friends of the COA are meeting every Friday at 1:30. We are covering those meetings live. So we're discussing the senior center, the plans. People, you want to be informed about that, you can tune in to the government channel and you can see those meetings every Friday at 1:30.
And I appreciate so much that, we have a lot of good people in Littleton. That from my dealings and from what I've had to deal with here in the town, I appreciate the people here in Littleton because they really try to do the right thing.
Right.
And that's, to me, is the most important thing. And the right thing now is to take care of our seniors. They need this building. And when I toured the building, the realtor told me that the owner of this building wanted the town to have this building, so that they was willing to work with the town previously. And I would like to say that this is...
I'm getting a message here. Let me just get this there. Go ahead. Sorry.
I would like to make sure that we take this opportunity to really, truly come out on May the 6th in droves.
Great.
And help our seniors.
All right.
And I want to thank you in advance.
Yes, we thank you in advance. I just got this note. There is no COA Friends meeting this Friday, February 8th, but there will be one on the 15th. So that's just a little side note for that. George, thank you so much.
Thank you
for taking up the cause and being a walking billboard and for coming on the show today to talk about this.
And I thank the TV station for giving me this opportunity.
You're very welcome. Thanks for watching Uncommon Interview. I'm Mark Crory. Till next time, take care.